All right, George, Capcom has finally shown off the Title Update 1 and their plans for the kind of midterm of what they're going to do with Title Update 1 and some of the little updates and Title Update 2. And I gotta say, my expectations were low, and I'm still very disappointed. And I want to break down exactly why, because
Sure.
there were a lot of people who think I'm just poo-pooing on them and my expectations are too high. But I will say, I think everyone's expectations are much, much too low, if we're being totally honest.
I mean, honestly, all of this, it's done from a place of love. They say that the best way to vote is with your wallet. The best way to show where you stand is with your wallet. And while that's still true, we do have a small outlet here where we can kind of give some feedback and be part of the conversation as a community as a whole. And hopefully the devs listen, maybe not specifically to us, but just to the collective feedback. And this is all, as heated as it may get, this is all done out of love, because this is a series that we both love. Games that we both love, and if you can't be critical when standards fall on something that you love, when can you be?
Absolutely.
So
yeah, I mean, don't take criticism as if like you have to hate the game. Criticism is going to improve our game. Like, everyone should be willing and ready to criticize the game so we get a better Monster Hunter. I don't know why you wouldn't criticize the game, but anyways, let's get to this title update. So, title update comes in April. Oh man, this whole thing just gets freaking worse and worse as you go along. First of all, Mitsune, we'll just get that out of the way. I don't really care. The monster's fine. It could have come at release. It could come in title update 1. It doesn't really matter to me. I think it's the most whatever about this whole thing, this title update 1. But the fact that we have the Grand Hub and the Arena quests and the final boss to high rank, which should have been in the game, is absolutely unacceptable. The fact that this has come like about a month after is ridiculous. They should have delayed the game just for this. Not having a hub and not having arena quests alone is just insane. Are you crazy? You shipped a Monster Hunter game without arena quests and the hub? Like, what?
Yeah,
if there was
the
not a clear indication that this was an unfinished game, then that is definitely freaking it. If the freaking awful performance and lack of Grand Hub and Arena Quests couldn't tell you enough that this game's unfinished, I don't know what will. But the fact that Zoshia is finally coming out, we're going to have like really good builds when this finally comes out. It's not going to be that hard. It's just really not going to be that hard. If it had come out when the game was released, it would have been hard because we didn't have like perfect builds and all ready to go and stuff. But this is just going to be like, oh, okay, well, we're finally getting the last boss, I guess, for whoever else is still playing. Because at this point, I've been hearing that people are moving to GU, which is a smart move. But like this, it's almost like an insult. It's like, thanks for buying our full-priced unfinished game. Here's the rest of the content that should have been in here at release. And not even, because I think there should have been more to this game. But sure, let's be a little generous here. Now, seasonal event, no problem. I have no problem with that. If they want to do fun little seasonal events with some extra goodies, that's totally cool. No problem. Make it, a seasonal thing comes and goes. No problem. That's cool. However, this next thing, this is the frickin' straw that broke my camel back right here. We have been waiting for any difficult content. Any. And they're finally going to give us a difficult quest. A difficult quest. It's crazy to me that they're like, yeah, here's Arch-Tempered Raidao. He's gonna be so hard. Are you serious? One monster? You're giving us one monster?
Dude, the fact that it's one monster, I agree with you. That part sucks. The worst part for me, though, is the fact that it's limited time. They're going to be sunsetting content. Why? Tell me one good reason why that is a good idea. Who asked for anything like this?
It's not even just that it's limited, because that's an absolute insult, but the fact that it's 1 month later from now. We're not even getting it till a month later. Oh, it's like, oh, you want some good content, some really meaty, difficult content that will be generally trivialized by the secrets anyways, because this doesn't really solving the difficulty is not just like, oh, well, this monster one-shots you. It's like, that's not what we're looking for. Nobody wants to get one-shot. This is not what we want. The problems that make this game easy aren't going to be solved by making the monster deal an absurd amount of damage, because the easiness comes from I could get hit for 99% of my life, and the game wouldn't necessarily become harder because I could just get on my secret whenever I get hit and I'm totally fine. It's just like the wire bug. This isn't going to solve the issue. And the fact that we gotta wait a month, and the fact that it's a limited time event and they're gonna take it away is just so insulting. And it's only one monster. Oh my gosh. It's just, this whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And then they want us to wait until the summer for Title Update 2 when they give us a tiny little sprinkling of more. This is absolutely ridiculous. When we played the old Monster Hunters 4 and Monster Hunter Generations, I'm not talking about 4 Ultimate, I'm not talking about Generations Ultimate, I'm talking about 4 and Generations. Those were games you could buy, and they felt complete in and of themselves. Yep. They had difficult quests. They had the last boss not cut out and then brought in at a later update. They had hubs. They had arena quests. They had the whole gambit. And then after that, they had little events like collaborations and different things like special event quests, silly things, you know, extra stuff. And you know what? They didn't go away. They just added them, and they were pretty quick.
Imagine that, dude.
They were popping them out real fast. It was real quick, and by the time you were done, there was almost some more ready to go, and it was just great. And then you could do them anytime. You just downloaded them all. It was great. But everything has to be a games as a service bullcrap. Oh, you know what? We couldn't give you the full game because we had to, give it to you later so we could hook you back in. Just as player retention starts to hit lows, we hook you back in with Title Update 1. If I was cynical, I would say that's the reason they held back really important features like this. Or maybe they just didn't care and they had to get it out for their financials, so they released an unfinished game. Who knows what other stupid reasons they could have for this? I only care about the fact that this is totally unacceptable. And honestly, Monster Hunter, second favorite series of all time, next to the FromSoft series of games. I love these games, but at this point, I would contemplate if I'm even going to get the DLC when it releases sometime next year. And I'm definitely going to be holding back on buying the first game. And people will say, oh, Graham, you should hold back. You should have held back. It's always going to be like this way. The Sunbreak made Rise good and Iceborne made World good. Listen, World was a pretty good game at release. Not amazing, but it was okay. The updates definitely made it better, for sure. I'm not going to merge in the stuff. It was a decent game. I bought it and played it at release. I remember. It was a pretty good game. I'm not going to say it was amazing, but it was good. Iceborne definitely made it better, for sure. But Rise being saved by Sunbreak is like, we've gone from you buy 4 and you're happy. 4 Ultimate comes out, you have more happiness. Great. Generations comes out, you're happy. More happiness with Generations Ultimate. Great, fantastic. You had 4 hunting styles with Generations. They added some more in the next one. No problem, everyone's happy. But now we're looking at it like, oh, Rise is a dumpster fire. And Sunbreak put out the dumpster fire. Wait a second. When were they releasing dumpster fires? I don't remember them releasing dumpster fire games that had to be saved by an expansion. I don't remember saying that that 4 had to be saved by 4 Ultimate. No, it just made a good game better. Now, Wilds and Rise being absolute dumpster fires in their base game, and they need to now be saved by their expansions, that's just unacceptable. I'm not going to get on that train anymore, and honestly, it's an insult to customers. And this is an incredibly long freaking rant. I'm sorry to bore you, George, but I'm just not freaking. I'm not here for it anymore. I'm gonna be so hesitant and maybe even hold back on my purchases from Capcom games because I think it's genuinely. I think it's an insult to people who bought the game. And I think they're treating their player base very unfairly. I don't know why they're doing it. Games as a service, whatever, ultra money extraction from like microtransactions over periods of time, whatever it is, because they have that too. But I think it's just very insulting, and I'm a man of principle, and I will not put up with it. So
no, I mean, you said a lot of my feelings exactly, and I understand the intuition or the instinct or whatever it may be to be kind of defensive of Wilds and of Rise, and to maybe say things such as, well, making games has gotten more expensive, so this is kind of what you get, or we wouldn't get any Monster Hunter, or saying things like, well, you kind of touched on it just now. Well, the DLC brought what you wanted brought the game up to the standard that you wanted it to be at and all that stuff. And like you said at the beginning, standards are too low.
Yeah,
if we start accepting this as just the norm, the series that we knew and loved is gone. So it's well, this is either what you get or nothing at all. This what we're getting is nothing at all. Yeah. Basically. Essentially, right?
Essentially, yeah. If they're going to keep chipping away at the series and what makes it good, right? Not just like difficulty. Yes. Like difficulty is one aspect of that, but if they keep chipping away, then yeah, essentially we'll have a shell of itself and it might as well not exist. It exists in name alone.
So, don't lower your standards, people. Just demand good games every time from everyone.
It's funny to see people say, "Oh well, you're a boomer or something." I'm not a boomer anyways, but it's like, you're a boomer and, you just want it to be how it was in the past. It's like, well, yeah, because the past sounds pretty freaking good, man. We got good games in the past. Your expectation, you got to raise your expectations up. Expect more. These companies have more money and make more money than ever before. There is no reason why they can't release a banger of a video game that everyone freaking loves, universally acclaimed. It's got everything you could possibly want, and they can still have some great stuff that comes out later. But what they're doing now is a stripped down version of the base game. They're releasing the rest of it piecemeal through updates, and they're taking things back like Arch-Temper Ray-Dow and stuff that they shouldn't, and they're gonna use you as an excuse mechanism, saying that, oh well, don't worry, the DLC will make it good. Well, everyone who is bought a dumpster fire, then you've gotten played by Capcom, because if that's what we're waiting for, then I'm sorry, that's ridiculous.
There's not much more I can add to that, man. Good rant. Good long rant. Maybe we'll name the video something like that. We'll see. But
it's just a rant at this point. I don't know. Yeah, I hate to take the whole time just talking, but I'm so freaking fired up about it.
No, it's fine.
And I wouldn't, like you said, I wouldn't be so fired up about it if I didn't love the series, and I want the series to be good. Because when
all this comes from a place of love. There's 100%. no like hate for Monster Hunter, hate for the developers or anything like that. This is all, we want the game we love to stay the game we love. Now, I understand the argument of, well, if you want the games to keep coming out, they need to make money. And if you want them to make money, they need to appeal to more people. Okay, this rant here was not about that.
Sure. But I would rather the games stay, honestly, I'd rather the games stay more on the niche side. I wouldn't, like, again, people are like, oh, well, you want the games to kind of fail. It's like, listen, I don't want them to be ultra niche either. Like, some people said, oh, well, I don't want to hunt for 45 minutes. It's like, yeah, well, I don't either. First of all, no one was hunting for 45 minutes in the older games. Let's just be absolutely freaking clear. Nobody was doing that. The hunts were definitely longer, absolutely. And I don't think that the hunt times right now are terrible. It's totally fine, but there needs to be more difficulty. If we spent 10 minutes, like on average, hunts right now in Wilds are like, I don't know, 10 minutes. And let's say they were 20 minutes in the older games. I'm not saying they have to go back to 20 minutes. What I'm saying is, if we're going to make it 10 minutes, let's make it 10 minutes of difficult fights. And not just like monsters one-shotting you, like I've said, but things like, secrets and the healing and all the stuff we talked about in the previous video and more. We don't have to have busy work gathering quests. We don't have to have quests that go for freaking 30, 40 minutes, even 20 minutes, fine, sure, whatever. But having these exceptional fights that do go for 20 minutes, maybe pushing 30 minutes, they could be like very special quests that are super hard, designed to be really hard, take a while, multi-monster fights. They're right at the end. They're like an event quest, right? They're not even a required quest. They're quests you can do optionally. That's totally fine. We can have those be the exception. But for the most part, if we have 10-minute, really difficult fights where you have to engage with the monster, I'm totally cool with that. So I don't understand those kind of arguments. I'm not saying that the series shouldn't evolve and get better, because we absolutely feel like they should evolve and get better. But the way that it's evolving right now is chipping away at the core essence of what the games are and what makes the games good and intrinsic and fun. And despite the fact the Capcom is freaking up everything with these title updates and releasing an incomplete game, that's a whole other freaking thing that the series has a problem with now. So yeah, I mean, I grew to love the games because I played them and I had a ton of fun and was satisfied with them as they were. I didn't need title updates. I didn't need the ultimate expansions. I played them, had so much fun. It was very satisfying. That's why I grew and loved the series. But today, if you played Wilds and didn't have enough to really get some meat on it, because there's barely any meat on this bone, you're not going to grow to love the series as much. And maybe, you know what? Maybe the gross audience of people, and I mean that in the large sense, maybe that's what they want. And maybe Monster Hunter is moving on and they're going to a bigger, more generalized audience and the game's just not for me. Maybe that's the case. And I'll just have to move on to something else.
I doubt that's the case though, because so many people are moving to GU.
True.
After playing Wilds.
True.
So there's there's a magic there in those older games that has sticking power that Wilds clearly doesn't.
True. It's a good point.
So
it's a good point. Yep. That's a great point. So yeah, anyways, that's the video, George. Thanks for listening, George.
Yes. Thanks for coming to the rant, everybody. Yeah. Hopefully, like, again, I just want to reiterate because I can already see the comments coming in. This is not done from a place of hate. This is done strictly from a love of the series. And hopefully through the Graham's impassioned rant that comes across. But we'll catch you on the next one, everybody.
All right. See you, everybody.